Welcome back to my live stream of Control. I am AmeerMortal and we're going to continue to play through Control. This is part 2 of my live stream on the release day of Control, 27th of August 2019. Control points are locations that the Bureau has identified as being vital junctions of the oldest house. When the appropriate harmonization devices are arranged around the control point in the arrangement, the surrounding area will not experience any unforeseen building shifts. These control points are discovered by detection of an unobstructed ping using within a 37-foot radius. Numerous researchers have attempted to define control points, calling them nerve junctures or vulnerable spots of the oldest house. The common factor in these theories is that control points are susceptible to external influence, which allows us to stabilize the oldest house and work more confidently inside it. Theoretically, this technology could be extrapolated to stabilize the oldest house as a whole, but testing has found that certain parts of the building refuse to be. Refer to file 7252788 for full report.
It didn't work. The hiss has burrowed too deep.
The hiss manifests in human hosts in numerous ways. The most common and least intense form is seen in the many corrupted agents floating through the Bureau. The hiss agents have maintained their human appearance, undergoing no obvious physical transformation. The most notable distinction from an unaffected human is the fact that they levitate. These hiss have displayed no aggressive behavior. They only seem interested in vocalizing the strange incantation ad infinitum. So they constantly repeat the same thing. Perhaps these vessels are only meant to propagate the hiss corruption, like spores or Wi-Fi boosters. Or are they cocoons preparing to enter their next stage of evolution? When attacked, hiss agents disappear, perhaps entering a state of invisibility or undergoing a transformation into a purely resonant form. Research is ongoing. Refer to file for the full report.
Ripping it out rips them apart.
Jesse, over here. We need to make a plan, Jesse.
can't cleanse them.
I saw. It was worth a shot. Thank you, Director. Jesse.
I'm gonna tell her why I'm here. I'll risk it. Listen, the Bureau was involved in an incident in my hometown, Ordinary, 17 years ago. The Bureau came in and covered the whole thing up. I've been looking for this place for a long time. That's enough. Maybe that's too much already. I can't tell her about Dylan and the rest yet.
I've seen mentions of an Altered World event case dealing with Ordinary. You were at Ground Zero as a child? It was one of the big ones, and before my time. And very classified. I can try to dig out some old files for you. My boss, Casper Darling, would know, but he's missing. I think he knew this was coming, or suspected. He came up with the HRAs, the Hadron Resonance Amplifiers. I think they're what saved us. Or a few of us. And Director Trench would know.
Trench? The ghost, or whatever he is. He mentioned something called the Hotline. Said I should find it.
It's another object of power, like the gun, an old Bakelite telephone. A direct line of communication between the director and the board. Maybe he can talk to you more clearly through that. I mean, Trench has years and years of experience. He might know how to destroy the Hiss.
Where is the hotline?
It's kept in the communications department through the mailroom. It's part of this sector, so we can access it even with the lockdown in place. We'll get the door open for you.
Okay, that's my next stop.
That's Tomasi's department. He's the head of communications. I don't think he had an HRA. He kind of made a point about not wearing one earlier. Keep an eye out.
They call me the director. But that's not me. I'm not a director type. I'm not a leader. Why am I here? I think you already know. Yes, I came for my brother, but there are other reasons too. I said I was looking for answers, but I might never understand them. I'm not looking for proof. This is already it. More than enough. No matter what they told me all those years, I know it's real now. I didn't imagine this. I want to be a part of this world. What scares me shitless is that I finally found it. Only to see the Hiss destroy it all.
I know this is all new to you, so don't hesitate to ask me anything you want to know. There are no stupid questions. The door to the comms department is just outside the boardroom back in the lobby. They should have gotten it open by now. Follow the signs to the mailroom. You can get to the hotline containment chamber through there. Good luck, Jesse. See you back here once you have the hotline.
Thanks, Emily.
This is... wow. I love story-driven games, and the way that they have directed the story and are telling the story in this is right up my alley. It's absolutely my kind of storytelling. Oh man. This has mixed so many of my interests together into one thing. Oh, I'm getting overwhelmed with how many of my favourite shows and books and series and films and are all being thrown into this. It's just incredible, but it's also got its own very clear identity and very strong direction and perspective on the story, and the story itself seems really interesting as well. So, oh yes, all good.
The hotline should be in the communications department.
Where did the hiss come from?
I'm not sure. You said the hiss was here when you entered. Did you see anything like that outside before you came in?
No. No, just inside.
The source is internal then. See, the oldest house is a sprawling complex with openings to other places as well. I don't even know where to start looking. But in the context, it's good news. The lockdown holds. The hiss escaping the building would be the end. Pretty shitty world out there if you ask me, but I wouldn't want the hiss to destroy it.
With you on that, Emily. You mentioned the oldest house. What is it?
This building, the Bureau headquarters, the oldest house, is a shifting place. You've seen it. It transcends its physical limits.
I've been to New York a few times. How didn't I notice this place?
It's an attribute of the building. This is a place of power. The oldest house doesn't like attention, so unless you're purposely trying to find it, you don't, which is perfect for us. The work we do here is essential, but unstable. The Bureau prefers not to be noticed. And we need strong walls to make sure nothing gets out.
So without you, I never would have found the front door. Okay. This Trench guy. I keep hearing him in my head. Is he a ghost? Haunting me?
I doubt we're talking about a ghost in the traditional sense, but an echo maybe. See, if he was killed by the service weapon, your gun, maybe it's his final thoughts recorded by the bullet in his brain, like a deep space probe sending back data. But that's just a hypothesis on my part. I need the gun to research it. But you better hold on to that given the circumstances.
I think I will. Yeah. Can you tell me what an object of power is exactly? This is all, well, new to me.
Don't worry, I love going over the basics. So objects of power are mundane objects that house paranatural energies and have developed a link to the astral plane and can thus be controlled, which is what differentiates them from altered items, which are still housings of paranatural forces, but are more volatile and cannot be bound in the peri-utilitarian sense. Got it?
Did she memorize this? Got it. Thanks. So HRA stop you from becoming Hiss?
Well, it seems that way. I mean, I hadn't even heard of an HRA until a few weeks ago when Dr. Darling started handing them out. Well, I began analyzing mine as soon as I got it. I mean, each one seems to emit a powerful short-range frequency way beyond anything I've ever seen.
Doesn't the timing seem suspicious?
I thought that too. Dr. Darling usually likes to unveil his latest breakthrough in big presentations. With these, he just passed them out. Yeah, his behavior makes me wonder what exactly he knew.
Thanks, Emily. I'm sure I'll have more questions soon.
Just let me know.
There it is again. Our welcome message.
I am completely and utterly encapsulated by the story and the way they're laying the breadcrumbs down. Everything about this is astronomical. Week 83 report summary. Visited the following Nevada accommodations: Desert Sun Inn, Big Sky Motel, Starlight Motel, In and Out, Aztec Court, Sleep E Bear Motel, Silver Spurs Ranch, El Gato Blanco Inn, A Plus Lodge. Expenditures: accommodation $831.29, meals, gasoline, minibar, etc. I do wonder if a motel called the Ocean View is going to be found in a landlocked state, but hey, I guess I'm not paid to think, right? And for the record, I again request that you give us the budget to get 2 rooms each night. Agent Rowley and myself are very tired of sleeping in the same room. See you on the road. Agent L. Hines. P.S. The boys in research said performing rituals may help identify any place of power. Drinking those little whiskies is my ritual.
Overpowering here. You don't want me anywhere near it. I'm with you on that.
Hiss resonance field is a physical impediment that is difficult to define. Hiss barriers appear as ways to impede escape or access by Bureau personnel. Two methods have been discovered for lowering them. One, destroy the multiple concentrated resonance sources found in the vicinity, or two, destroy the Hiss entities in the area. The resonance fields seem to require support for their size and density from other non-connected sources of Hiss resonance. Without the ability to draw from these sources, the barrier will fall. Does an inactive structure made of Hiss resonance qualify as a conscious being? Does the distinction make any difference when considering the Hiss? What does the very act of building walls to prevent our movement tell us about the Hiss? To what degree is it watching and planning? Refer to file for full report. Please be aware, due to the recent fluctuations in the nearest control point, this area's stability has been downgraded to yellow. Reference chart. Green is stable, yellow, low possibility of unanticipated building shifts, orange, high likelihood of unanticipated building shifts, and red, frequent unanticipated building shifts. So yeah, we can assume that this building at one point is going to get to a stage where it's shifting a lot and changing its form, which is very, very cool. And the whole idea behind that is amazing. It's just very original, very cool. The graphics that pop up on the screen like that, for some reason, remind me of one of my favorite series, Mr. Robot. I love Mr. Robot for completely different reasons, but the graphics are reminding me of that. And also, at the back of my head, I've got some other director. The series that I'm watching just now called Mindhunter does the same thing. David Fincher has a very similar style. Very, very cool.
Look at it. 8 inches wide and capable of storing a whopping 80 kilobytes. Stolen by our friends at the CIA, the disk held the launch codes to Soviet nukes. This is not the disk, of course, but one exactly like it. A perfect fusion of concepts vibrating in the Cold War era collective unconscious. A receptacle. It is a receptacle for dangerous energies to hone in on. And they did. We don't have the details, but when things started flying around the disk, it was transferred to us. It's an object of power. Oh, okay. Oops. Oh, and it can launch things telekinetically through the air. To date, we've launched maybe 3 dozen pencils. And once, we even launched a cup.
This kind of Lynchian, kind of like almost satirical videos are so awesome. Oh, there's so many things about this I love. And by the way, one of the most rudimentary kind of basic things I haven't even mentioned yet is that the game feel is awesome. The movement's great, the controls are great, the shooting's great.
We're on the right track.
So that's something I actually forgot to mention, because the game is just so encapsulating that I was just focused on everything else happening around, but the gameplay is amazing as well, so very happy.
Object of power. Looks like the hiss have latched onto it. We need to cleanse it.
the visual effects and the ideas and the magnetism and how you can interact with the environment, destructible environments, and wow, ticking so many boxes, so many boxes. book club note for Penny by L. Sampson. So, I don't usually read a lot of sci-fi, but as far as space operas go, this was alright. The title, Unless You, could refer to a bunch of things in the book, I guess, but I thought it was a little vague and stupid. The way the characters kept throwing it around, almost like a catchphrase, got really annoying real fast. The best part of the story was the space battles. I sided with the Fixers, obviously, because they had the coolest tech and their motives made the most sense to me. Honestly, if I had to choose between some hoity-toity flowers in guns, space hippies, or a badass bunch of warriors who go around devouring planets like cheap sushi on a Sunday, I know who I'm picking. That scene where they invade City Planet and convert the entire population using those brain worms, and that space dogfight between those two ace pilots. Sign me the fuck up. What kind of ruined the whole thing for me was when my favourite character got killed not even halfway through the story by getting a battery cylinder launched into his face by a gravitational anomaly. His death didn't feel necessary at all. Talk about a cool loading screen. Yeah. So I'm starting to figure out some of the basic mechanics of the game. That you obviously have to gain health from the enemies that you kill, and there aren't many actual health sources of health apart from that. The game itself is absolutely incredible.
Communications. We're on the right track. An object of power. Looks like the Hiss have latched onto it. We need to cleanse it. It's harder to hear you when I'm here. It's like the channel's been changed. The board's in charge here. They're pyramids in the Bureau seal. Are they really the ones pulling the strings? I'm not their director. I'm no one's director.
Now that is a cool move. Being able to grab and launch. It's like a Jedi power. It's awesome. Oh, yes.
There you are. You were gone. Cut off. I got it. Just like you wanted.
These environments are so ridiculously dynamic. You can pick up any objects pretty much, or any of these interactive objects, and throw them. And then, like you can see, they can land and they can become dynamic objects in the environment. It's amazing. So cool. Wow. This game is completely blowing my mind, and it's just gets better and better, really. It is certainly impressing me. Loving every minute. So I'm doing a live playthrough. This is the launch day, this is the release day of Control. So please join me on my channel for the continuous playthrough of this game. I'll continue to play through as the day goes on. So yeah, join me for more gameplay while I play through for the first time Control on the PS4 Pro. And thanks so much, guys. See you in the next stream just coming up.